I'm back for episode 2 of Fruits Basket. They're all animals. It's going to be a shorter version than the last one I did. There will be a spoiler section at the end of this though, so I'll keep everything else spoiler free. Spoiler sections at this time code. And yes, we start off directly where we came from the last episode, where that all turned into animals, and Toro's like, what's going on? And the mailman conveniently turns up at the door at this time, and Toro's like, they're animals! And the mailman's like, yeah, they're animals. Anyway, after the mailman goes, Shigure tries to cover and it's like, woof! And everyone's like, nah, this isn't gonna work, let's just tell her the truth. And so Shigure explains that they're cursed by the Chinese zodiac and that they turn into animals when they're weakened or hugged by the opposite sex. And then they all poof with this like foam back into their cells, but they're naked. And I really like the coloured mist that surrounds them. I think I heard a reviewer say that they didn't like this, that it wasn't realistic, and I was like, this is an anime about people who turn into animals. Yeah, no, it's all good in the manga. You can see like right here, their facial expressions are perfect. It's hilarious. Then we get the beautiful opening sequence, and it's got this real 90s kind of mellow vibe to it, and it actually does remind me of the original 2001 opening sequence as well. It's really chill, very nice. And then after the opening sequence, they're all sitting in Shigure's living room and kind of explaining things a bit more, and Toro in her head's like, yep, that makes sense as to why Yuki pushed that girl away. And Q gets really angry at Yuki and he slams the table and he's like, shut up! But there's a perfect pause.
Shut up! Oh crap.
When he's like, oh crap. And he realizes that he hurt Toro. Like, shut up! Oh crap. And it's just perfectly timed. So Yuki gets into a fight with Kyo because he's angry at her, and there's this really cute part where whilst they're fighting, Toro and Shigure's tending to her wounds, and she's like, why are they fighting? Can we stop them? And Shigure's like, nah, they do this all the time, and Yuki will win soon anyway. And you get this kind of sense as to later in the episode as well, they're fighting as well, and you get this real sense of why there's this rivalry here, and it's kind of because Kyo really wants to be a part of the Zodiac as a cat. He's kind of outcast and wants to be a part of them, and Shigure's like, we've got to tell the head of the family, Akito, about this. And Yuki's like, and when everyone's gone, he's like, you're going to erase your memories, aren't you? And he's like, Shigure's like, I don't think it's needed actually. This is only one person as opposed to a lot of people. Because what we find out in the episode is that when Yuki was a kid, he was playing with some fellow kids who don't know about the Zodiac curse, and one of the girls accidentally hugs him and they have to have their memories erased. We find out about why and how they're erased later, but it's really hurt Yuki because we can clearly see he feels like an outsider, and whilst Kyo's trying to get into the Zodiac, Yuki's trying to leave. He moved to Shigure's place, and like in the first episode he hints at how he didn't try hard enough. Like, here's Toro living in it, and it was living in a tent, whilst Yuki just went to another Soma's house and hasn't really gotten far. He did go to a co-ed school instead of the all-boys school Akito suggested. Funny that, Akito. So Yuki feels really alone and really sad and really isolated, and this is proven by that scene. This is taken further by that scene where Yuki goes, grabs Toro into the classroom, is like, hey, I need to tell you something. Have you talked to anyone about the hearse? And Toro's like, no, I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't. Look, I even signed my name in blood and like cigarette burns, because that's what her mother did, because oh, it's so adorable. But he's like, no, you don't get it. They're going to like change and manipulate your memory so you forget us. And Toro's like, what? No. And Yuki's like, yeah, they've done it before, and tells the story of the kids. And Akito was like, no one will like you, Yuki. If you told the truth to people, they would be sickened by you as a rat. You're a human who can turn into a rat. How horrific. Oh, that manipulator Akito. And so Yuki is like really surprised as to why Toro isn't sickened by her. In fact, this is a really funny scene where he asks Toro and is like, are you sickened by, are you sickened or something? And Tori's like, no, I'm feeling all better now. Like, and there's like dialogue at the top, text being like, yeah, she didn't get it, or the question what Yuki was asking. But Tori's really cute about it. She's like, all right, look, if you have to erase my memories, that's okay. I mean, I'm going to miss knowing you guys. I just hope if you erase my memories, you'll come be friends with me again afterwards. And this is showing the real, like, emotional vulnerability, healthy of Tori. She is really caring and kind, like we've said before, but also she gets people, she understands people, she tries to understand them, and this is just really beautiful. And Yuki's like, had never had this in his life before. He doesn't know what it's like to be cared from a stranger. He doesn't know what it's like to open up and have someone care for him. And so it's really beautiful. And this is furthered by the fact that Yuki says, look, I'm going to follow along with what Akito says. And that's kind of proving that he hasn't been able to get out of the family. He's still bound by Akito's rules. But it's really interesting that he specifically says that, look, I'm going to have to follow along with it. So just letting you know, FYI, that's the most Yuki can do. He can let her know that this is going to happen beforehand. And then Shigeru's like, yeah, she's fine. Akito said she can stay. And Yuki's like, really? You two are plotting something, aren't you? And you get a flashback to when Akito's like, yeah, I'll trust this Tori. And Shigeru's like, yeah, sure. Spoiler section. So Tori cleaned up the mess of the kitchen, and Yuki's like, I didn't even realize we had a rice cooker, which is cute. And Tori starts cooking the meals, and it feels very like housewifey. And actually, you know what, I'm going to comment here on the traditional gender roles here, which is quite interesting. I haven't really thought about this, but because it was a late 90s, early 2000s anime, females do fit into those traditional roles. And I think more so in Japan, that they're just expecting Tori to do all the cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. And it is interesting. Just going to keep an eye on this point as the series goes on. So that Yuki and Tori are eating at a dining table, and Yuki's talking about his secret base, and Tori's like, a secret base! And I love this like imagination bubble she has, which is exactly like in the manga, where she's like, a secret base, there's like a secret chimney, there's a secret bathroom, a secret cannon. I love it. It's like adorable. I love how there's a cannon. There's a military base. And he's like, I'll show you sometime, but it's probably not what you were expecting. I really love Yuki's on point, like little like snide remarks. And they're interrupted by Kyo slamming the door, and Shigure dressed in a suit looking really fancy, like a talk show host, looking really fancy, coming into the living room, and coming into the dining room. And what's really cool is Kyo and Shigure walk really fast, really angrily around the table, and like Tori's like, oh my god, I'm worried, what's going on? And there's like a snide comment by, I love Yuki's snide comments. Like, he's just like, Shigure is like, take off your shoes when you're in the house, to Kyo, and Yuki's like, sips his tea, is like, well, you just did laps around the dining room with your shoes on. I think he's so sassy. Yuki's like subtle, quiet sass is just my life. Shigure's like, well, he's angry because I tricked him into taking an entrance exam at the school, so starting tomorrow, he's your new classmate. And Yuki's just like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's just like this cold ice that goes everywhere, and it's hilarious. Like, Shigure knew Yuki would be upset, and he was just playing this all for effect. He's like, oh, thanks for the food, Toru. No, Yuki ain't having this. But then Shigure had like a backup plan up his sleeve. He's like, actually, you know, this is really important to Kyo. This is really important to Kyo. He hasn't been going to his old school for the last few months. Wonder why. And he's been in the mountains wrestling bears and has been skipping school. And so he thought he should make him go to the same school as them and interact with lots more people. And this is I think, particularly both around Yukio and Kyo in different ways, and this will be touched on in later episodes, it's about how they interact with other people in the outside world. So Kyo's going to the same school as them, and he's like really freaking out in class. All the girls are like, oh my god, you're so pretty, and he's like, ah, ah. And it's really cute because Hana's doing Toro's hair, and Yo's like, I like his hair, it's like same color as Kyoko's, your Toro's mother's. And Yuki's like, I have never met or talked to this person before. Like cold ice. Everyone's like, tell me about your cousin. And Yuki's like, don't know him. Don't talk to me about him. But Kyo is like freaking the fuck out and is like surrounded by girls, and even like accidentally like pins a girl's arm down trying to get away from them. Then he jumps out of the building. And like in the manga, I'm pretty sure it's a 3-story building, but in the anime it's like a 4-story building. So Kyo lands beautifully like a cat and runs away. And Yuki's like, oh my god, and has to go and confront him. And it's like, you can't pull these antics at school. You're surrounded by girls. And Kyo's like, exactly, I'm fucking surrounded by girls. What are you doing here? This is like dangerous territory. And so they're getting into like a fight, and Yuki's like, you don't understand. I'm trying everything to get away from the Soma family, and you just want to be in the Soma family. And so they're about to fight, and Tori walks up and is like, guys, no, please don't fight. And her way of, I think she did this purposefully this time, her way of stopping them fight was by hugging Kyo, and he turns into a cat and gets really angry at her. He's like, why do you always do this? Like, you're causing all this trouble, just go away. And she's like, I love this scene. She's like, maximum rage. And she's just like really hurt. She's like, he already hated me already. And there's this series of internal monologues in this episode, which is really about Toru finding where she fits in with Kyo. And she's like, he seems to hate me, he gets really angry at me, but like I don't understand why. And she's like, I've always loved the cat, the Chinese zodiac cat. I always wanted to be the cat. And so she's like really wants to be friends with Kyo, and she feels like Kyo hates him, and so she walks away, and Kyo's like, damn it, I'm making this worse. And Yuki's like, yeah, see what you've done. And there's this like really sad moment, and Kyo's like, why don't you kick me? And Yuki's like, yeah, no, it's worse not to be kicked in moments like this. And it's just like this utterly, absolutely sad like scene where Kyo realizes he's done bad and doesn't know what to do or how to do it, so he goes home. And one of my favorite scenes in the entire manga and show, I mean I have a lot of them, but this is great, is where Shigure is giving Kyo some sage advice. He's like, look, interacting with people doesn't come easy, it's something you've got to train at. And this is one of the most beautiful statements, because this is to all humans. I know a lot of people who have anxiety around social situations. They don't know how to react, they don't know what to say. And it's true, it's just like anything else, it's practice. And even if someone is like, appears like they're socially perfect, they're not. And even me making this video, I'm a relatively social person, but I am so anxious writing this recording this video that I keep fucking up, and it's only human to be like this. Shigure compares it to something that Kyo would know well, training as a martial artist, and he says, I'm reading from the manga now, for example, as a martial artist you have the strength to break the table with your fist, but you also have the self-control to stop your fist right before it hits the table. You weren't born with that control, were you? You had to refine it. That's the result of fighting with bears in the mountains. It's the same as interacting with people, mingling with people, getting hurt by them, hurting them. That's how you learn about yourself and others. If you don't, you'll never be able to care for anyone but yourself. And it's just beautiful. At the heart of this, oh my god, I keep tearing. At the heart of this manga and anime, it's really about connecting with other people, learning about yourself, and practicing, because it's much better when you are open and emotional and you can make those connections. And Shigure is like, for the sake of the person who will one day love you, say she loves you, you've got to keep training and not run away. And Kyo's like that will happen. No one's gonna love me. And Shigure just sagely reading his papers like, and what will you say if she does? And Kyo was like, first of all, I'm going to ask her if she's crazy. Like, and it's the most beautiful scene. Directly following this scene, Yu comes home and Shigeru's like, where's Toru? And he's like, oh, someone should pick up Toru after work. And you don't see anyone volunteer or anything. It just cuts straight to Toru walking home in the dark in the woods. And she's still freaking out about Kyo and how much he must hate her and stuff. And she's feeling really sad about it. And then she hears like a creepy noise. And this is just like hilarious. She's like, they've already mentioned before there's like maybe perverts in the woods and stuff like, and normally this flies right over Toru because she's super dense. But she's like, oh my god, there's a pervert. And when the creeping comes up behind her, she flicks her bag and hits, this is hilarious. And the bag slides off and you realize it's Kyo. And she's like, oh no, I didn't mean to hurt you. And they're both in their heads like, oh no. And Tori's like, oh, how do I tell him I hit him with my bag because I thought he was a pervert? And Kyo's like, man, she must really hate me. And so Tori tries to cover. She's like, oh, I was just practicing my swings. And Kyo's like, shut up, like, you hit me, okay, whatever. And Tori's like, no, actually, I only hit you because you're a pervert. I thought you were a pervert. And so he's like, whatever. And she's like, okay, Kyo. Like, she's just like trying to say his name. Well, actually, in the manga, she's like, Kyo-san, like she's like trying to be formal with her honorifics, but he's like, don't call me that, call me Kyo-kun or whatever. And she's like, Kyo-kun, like just testing it out. But in the anime they drop the honorifics, which is annoying. I really want to see the honorifics. But and he's like, yeah, what? And she's like, oh, I was just saying your name. He's like, don't say my name if you're not needing something. She's like, oh, okay. And then Kyo realizes he's heard her again and is like, oh, I mean, it's okay. You can call me my name whenever you want. You don't need anything. And look, I'm just sorry about before. And like, he's like, I just get angry sometimes. And it's so cute. Like, whenever Kyo tries to apologize, he's not used to it. So when he's fixing up the ceiling, and oh yeah, so Shigeru was like, make sure you fix the ceiling and stuff. And so later in the day when Toru comes back and he's trying to fix the ceiling, he's like, I just get really angry sometimes. And Toru doesn't quite realize he's trying to apologize yet because they get interrupted by Shigeru being like, is that kitten up there? And it's adorable. But yeah, so it's this really cute moment in the woods where she's like, oh, I understand now. He was trying to apologize. Like, he's got a really cute heart. And so she's like, I just want to tell you, like, I really love you. I love the cat. I always have. And she just like goes on for a while about how much she loves him. And then it's just like, I mean, what I'm trying to say is I want to be friends. Like, she gets really like flustered about it. She's like, oh, I'm saying the wrong thing. Everyone thinks they're saying the wrong thing. This is the thing. And it's beautiful that the manga and the anime are touching on this, that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know the right things to say, just as long as you do feel sorry and apologize and make it known to the other person and stuff like this, and keep trying and don't run away. Don't run away. And Kao's like, oh god, Shigeru just said that someone was going to tell me they'd love me sometime. Didn't realize that was going to be today. In fact, I thought it was going to be never. What do I do? I mean, that's stupid. He's just like, being the cat isn't that good. It's not that good. And he's just like cute blushy. And it's just like, what? And then they go back to the apartment. And I love this last scene that the episode ends on when they're in the kitchen. Well, when they're in the dining room and Toru's cooked them some food. And Shigeru's, of course, teasing them. She's like, ha ha ha. Kyo walks you home. He was desperate to. He asked if he could do it specifically. Oh, la la la. Kyo's like, shut up. And is like, it's never going to happen again. Toru's just like, okay, cool. Like, she's just so cute. She just takes whatever. She's like, okay, it happened. I'm happy. And he's like, she's like, do you like the food? And he's like, no. I mean, and Yuki gets really annoyed at Kyo. He's just like kind of, actually, he's not that annoyed at this point, which is interesting. He's kind of like taking it chill. And I really, really love the voice acting going on here, because this goes to Yuki's just subtle like quietness. Like, Kyo's like, stop staring at me. And Yuki's like, I'm not staring at you. You're just across the table from me. Like, it's brilliant. And the episode ends with Toru just thinking, hey, we're going to get along a lot better now. And it's really beautiful because throughout the episode, Toru has talked to Yuki about how even if she has memories erased, she'd still want to be friends with him. And Yuki's got the idea that she's not sickened by him and then she's also made up with Kyo. Doesn't quite make sense because there was no problem there in the first place for her. She takes all the blames on her. But there's a lot more going on with Kyo than seems at the surface, and so Toru realizes he's just got a bit of a temper, and he was really cute about trying to apologize for her. And so yeah, she's like, the days ahead are going to be really fun, and it's just so endearing. What I'm thinking about particularly here with Kyo is about how he was in the mountains for 4 months conveniently, which is the same time that Kyoko, Toru's mother, died. And it must be such a shock to Kyo coming back to fight Yuki, only to find the girl, Toru, in the house, whose mother he just witnessed die, and he couldn't help her because he was scared he would transform into an animal and the secret would be revealed. And he wasn't able to save Toru's mother, and that's weighing heavily on him, and that is the reason why he went to the mountains. And so it must be such a shock to him seeing Toru when he comes back. And he doesn't want to hurt Toru, and there's this really incredible look, I think, when he slams the table down and hits Toru accidentally. He's just like looking at her like really shocked and really upset, being like, oh my god, I've hurt her, all I can do is hurt her, which goes beautifully into later in the episode. What I really like seeing is Kyo's bracelet, both right and center, with the beads. There's a particular moment when he transforms after Toru hugged him and he yells at her, and he's a cat, and the beads, the red and white beads, are just sitting there, and it's so many feelings. So what's really interesting is I've heard people commenting on why Akito would actually let Toru stay with them, and I think it's quite clear from the scene with Yuki's childhood, and how Akito genuinely believes that that people will be sickened by him, and so Akito's like, yeah, we'll keep Toru around. She'll just prove to Kyo and Yuki how evil they are and how bad they are, and then they'll come back to me. Because I think that's at the core of Akito, right? She wants people to be hers and love her and her alone, and like Akito was absolutely terrified of being alone. And the fact that both Yuki and Kyo have left, even Kyo is an outcast. Like, Akito needs Kyo still in that position and wants Kyo there, and so Akito felt them slipping and thought that Toru would actually make it better. Was like, oh yeah. Once this Toru person, whoever she is, once they realize how much the outside world hates them, like Toru will like be like, oh my god, I'm so terrified, especially regarding perhaps Kyo's true form, is what Akito's counting on, whereas Shigure is doing the opposite. So Akito's like, yeah, Toru will make them see how they shouldn't be in the world and come back to the Soma house, whereas Shigure is like, ha, this will make them prove they want to be on the outside, because I know Toru, she's sweet and lovely, and she will totally, like, at this point, I 100% guarantee you, at this point already, Shigure already knows Toru's personality and already knows she is going to accept them no matter what. He knows this, and that's like, he's really good at reading people. And what he's trying to do here is make the gap between Akito and the others more permanent, because he wants Akito all to himself. Like, that's the whole ploy here. Perhaps he's wanting to break the whole curse for a long time, and not that he thinks Toru will necessarily break the curse, not this early on, but he definitely wants to create a divide between the others and Akito, so he can have Akito to himself. I mean, that's... Shigure genuinely cares for them. Shigure genuinely cares from everyone, but his motivation first and foremost is Akito. He's jealous, extremely jealous of Kurino, and wants Akito to himself. So yes, they both have motivations for keeping Toru there.